Hello and welcome back to Stop and Go F1 for this, our reaction to the Brazilian GP sprint race. And you know what? That was a fun one. Our final sprint race of the year, and it was a good one. The sprint races get a lot of flack, but off the top of my head right now, I do think that I think there was more decent ones than non-decent ones. I may be wrong, I may be misremembering. I know the last one we had in Texas was god-awful, but this one was a lot of fun. Let's get into it. Before we do, though, make sure to subscribe, of course, because, we've got loads of stuff coming up for you over this weekend. Still got the race tomorrow, which we'll be covering, of course, then driver racings on Monday. Then next weekend there is no F1, but there will be videos here on the channel, so make sure you subscribe for that. But let's get into the sprint race as it is. And Lando Norris is on pole position with Max Verstappen alongside him. Everyone on the soft tyres, apart from both of the Hasses and Logan Sargent. Now, the Hasses, pretty self-explanatory really. Their car just rips through tyres, so there's no point in risking the softs because they probably know they won't make it to the end. Sargent, on the other hand, maybe they, both Williams are at the back, 19th and 20th, so maybe they're just going, right, we've got nothing to lose, split the strategies on both from Albon going the soft and Sargent going the mediums, because I think the projections said that the softs obviously will be quicker, but at the end of the race, the mediums will come into their own and be quite a bit quicker than the softs. That didn't happen as it was expected to, or maybe it's just the guys who had the mediums didn't have the pace. But let's go to the start of the race where Max Verstappen takes the lead immediately. It was not a great start from Lando Norris. Max Verstappen is alongside him straight away, then down into the inside of turn one, and Max just runs away with it. I expected a bit more fight from Lando here, but unfortunately this was the best he could do, and once Max was in front of him, there was no real coming back from that. Further back, Hamilton gets past Checo, as does George Russell, so Checo had an awful start, and then Russell makes an incredible move on Lando Norris. Both Mercedes at the start of this race, incredible pace and incredible grip and downforce. Everything in the Mercedes looked fantastic at the start. As the race would go on, it would look less good. Perez is able to get past Hamilton, but then goes deep into turn one. Hamilton's able to catch him and go past again. That's on lap 4. That's something we see a lot here in this race, and I imagine we'll see it a lot tomorrow as well, is guys being overtaken into turn 1, but thanks to that DRS on the straight in between turn 3 and turn 4, they are able to fight back. Also, a lot of guys kind of overtaking into turn 1, but then maybe going a bit deep and being offline, then they can get the guys behind, get a better drive through those center S's, be right on the back of them, then get the place back, which is always very fun to watch. So this Hamilton-Perez battle is going on ahead for P4, but because they're battling away, Leclerc is able to close in on them, and he's now in this as well. I've written down here, Norris is now back past Norris. I imagine that was Norris's back past Russell now, because it looks like the Mercedes, their initial pace, it just went. And I don't really understand how, because if you look at the practice times, it looked like Mercedes had some of the best tyre pace of the grid, but in reality, in this sprint race, it just wasn't there. Fernando Alonso, who's like 15th after that incident with Ocon earlier on, he's making some great moves. He's past Magnussen now for P12 on lap 6, and on lap 8, the Mercedes pace has gone that bad that Perez is now past Russell for P3, but Russell gets him back instantly. Then on lap 10, 2 laps later, Perez is able to get past Russell again and keep it. Further back though, the Ferraris, you'll never guess what, they're struggling on their tyres. It was, I think it was Ricciardo on the back of Carlos Sainz, and going through turn 3, the back end of Sainz's car really just steps out. He was really struggling there about lap 11, and Ricciardo was able to get past Sainz, but Sainz gets him right back again. Now we start a fantastic battle here, possibly one of the best battles we've seen all season, and it was between Alonso and Gasly, who on lap 13 was side by side from turn 3 to turn 6, Really good stuff here, and that would not be the end of their battles. Ricciardo is able to pass Sainz again, but Sainz gets past him again on this on lap 14, and this battle, he just opens the door for Oscar Piastri, who gets past Ricciardo on lap 14. Now we have Alonso and Gasly battling again, and it's an incredible battle that lasts nearly half a lap. Alonso is able to get alongside Gasly, at the start of Sector 3 for that big left-hander towards the finish straight. He's able to get past him there, but they stay side by side again for the second DRS zone. Just absolutely fantastic driving between the two of them. Each of them giving them just the right amount of space. Didn't create contact whatsoever. Just great driving. You know, Alonso's had 2 interactions with Alpines today. One was quite embarrassing for the Alpine driver. The other one was fantastic for both of them. Ricciardo, though, he's got that kind of at the start of this train now. It was led by Sainz, but Sainz is slowly getting away. Ricciardo's now at the start of this train. He's starting to look a little bit twitchy on lap 18. Lance Stroll, who has awoken this weekend, has a fantastic move around the outside of Esteban Ocon. This is for P12 on lap 18. And further up, Charles Leclerc passes Lewis Hamilton and makes it look easy. Lewis Hamilton, 7-time world champion, he's always fantastic around this track, but Leclerc just made it look like he was a rookie. It didn't even look like he was stressing him at all. I have no idea what is wrong with that Mercedes today, because they had so much promise, and it seems to have gone away. And to prove that even more, Yuki Tsunoda then passes Lewis Hamilton, and he makes it look easy as well. At the same time, Ricciardo is able to get past Oscar Piastri on lap 22. Alonso is now on the back of Piastri, who overtakes him, but then goes deep, and Piastri is able to get him right back. This is on the final lap. One more lap, and Alonso would have got him, but unfortunately, he just went too deep into turn 1. And as we cross the line, it is Max Verstappen, of course, who wins the Brazilian GP. Lando Norris settles for P2. Very good result, considering the lack of pace he's had at the start of the race. Perez, fantastic in P3. His first top 3 finish since the Italian GP. Russell was 4th. Leclerc has to settle for 5th. Yuki in 6th, which is what I believe is AlphaTauri's first ever sprint points. I was told that before. I don't know if that's true, but if it is, that's incredible. He made some great moves today. Hamilton is in 7th, which is a shocker from me there. Sainz takes the last of the points in 8th. Ricciardo 9th. Piastri 10th. Fernando Alonso in 11th, with Stroll in 12th. Both of them looking very good, and I'm very excited to see what they do from the second row in the race tomorrow. Gasly and Ocon 13th, 14th. Albon had a very quiet, great race here, starting P19, ending P15. Magnussen 16th, Zhou 17th, Hulkenberg 18th, Valtteri Bottas in 19th, and finally Logan Sargent in P20. So there you go. The final sprint race of the year, and what I think was a very fun one. Until tomorrow, where we will have the main race. And if there's anything to go by, it should be a lot of fun. Right, I will see you tomorrow then. Have a good one. Until then, goodbye.